Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Global Eye. Today, you are with me, your host Mousumi, to discuss an issue that has been devastating the lives of many. I'll just start with a case. A class standard fourth student gets down from the school bus, collapses, and the result, he suffered cardiac arrest. Our final year student, giving her farewell speech on the stage, suddenly collapses. Reason: cardiac arrest. Doctor says her heart failed. And these two are not the only cases. We have multiple cases. We have also heard about cases and witnessed where fittest of the fittest person, they have collapsed due to heart diseases, heart attacks frequently. And nowadays we see the rising scale and rising cases of heart attacks. And this is indeed a case, an issue of concern we should address, and people should be aware why and what to do and what not to do. Today, we have with us health experts, advisors who can guide us better and who can spread an awareness to the society so that we are aware why such cases are increasing. Are there any solutions? If there are, what are they? Today we have with us Ishwar Chand, Health and Life Coach, Heart Health Strategist. We have Dr. Shazina Saeed, public Health Researcher and Preventive Cardiologist. We have with us Dr. Anurag Kumar, Lifestyle Medicine and Physician. Welcome to the Global Eye. My first question to you, Dr. Shazina Saeed. The increasing heart cases, what do you think must be the basic reason behind this? Why do we see today, earlier we haven't, we didn't hear such cases. We still have, oldies, our old generations, they are 80, they are 90, they are 100-year-old, but they are fit. But today when we see our generation, we see the increasing cases of heart attacks, cardiac arrest. What must be the basic reason?
Thank you, Moshmi. Thank you for giving me this platform to be able to share this. A lot of people, a lot of the population has this question as to what is it that suddenly led to this change. There are several factors, and it's really difficult to summarize this in a sentence or two. But honestly, what I can say from my public health experiences that when we say that take care of your lifestyle and when we say that take care of your weight, we are actually oversimplifying a very complex story. These two are very important factors. They are very, factors that are ultimately, responsible in a very large way. But then there are also a lot of numerous factors which are indirectly leading to this, right? And if you want me to elaborate on that, young cardiac arrest, first and foremost thing is that a pre-existing family history. Now that's a very important thing. If you look at generations, say 2 or 3 or 4 generations before this, the parents were relatively healthier. Now, when the kids are in their 20s and 30s, most of them have a parent which had a cardiac history of either hypertension or a comorbidity like diabetes or excess weight or etc., or maybe a lifestyle issue, which had begun maybe in their 50s. And, we were progressively coming down. So maybe, 40 years back, someone had started in their 70s and their 60s and their 50s. So now we have come to this. So a very strong family history definitely plays a very important role. Apart from that, simple issues, very simple issues that we don't give too much importance to. That is like dehydration, lack of sleep, chronic state of inflammation. So these are also some of the factors which are leading to this.
Right. Thank you so much for your deep insights. We'll come to Ishwar Chand because I have a broader question for him. But before that, Dr. Anurag Kumar, you are lifestyle medicine and physician. So if we want to explain what actually lifestyle is to our listeners, to our viewers, what actually is lifestyle? and what kind of lifestyle are we actually following, and what should be followed according to you, so that we get rid of this heart attack. I do not know, totally it's impossible, but at least we can make an effort. So what actually is lifestyle according to you?
Yeah. Uh, Once again, thank you, Mosmi, for this opportunity. So, to start with, there are six pillars of lifestyle medicine, actually, as per American College of Lifestyle Medicine. First is nutrition, second is exercise, third is habits and lifestyle. Okay. Fourth is sleep, fifth is emotional resilience, sixth goes with intoxications like alcohol, smoking, and other habits the person is having. Along with that, the one thing which plays very crucial role is social connectedness and positive psychology. So, if we look at what exactly is contributing for the sudden cardiac death, all these factors, because all these factors have deteriorated in recent years, especially in past 15 years. The nutrition which you are taking is like GMO modified, and we're not sure about the source of it. Okay, and exercise. Sudden cardiac deaths will happen because of two reasons. One is sedentary, and one is also because of over exercise without knowing the state of their cardiac health. Okay, so the person is not aware, right? And those excess physical activity will also lead to these things. Third main factor is sleep. So we are in the state of overactivity all the time. We need to be on the edge, we need to achieve the targets, we need to reach the higher goals in our life. So we are compromising sleep, we are not prioritizing sleep as one of the main factor, because sleep is a time where your body recovers from the whatever which has happened throughout the day, right? If you're not sleeping well, if you're not giving adequate rest to your body, every organ will be inflamed, especially cardiac muscles will be inflamed. Okay. Other than this, next factor is smoking and alcohol. So younger generation, youths are more prone for all these habits. We are not sure, they might have drank alcohol in the previous night, and they have gone to gym or they have gone to playground, and they have stressed themselves for all this exertion or all these physical activities. That is also one of the main cause. Coming to last cause, stress. So that is one of the main thing which I want to bring in, because most of the time we are in state of sympathetic overactivity. We are in state of fight or flight at the edge. Okay. So when you are in this state, usually all organs will overactivate. Your heart rate become more, breathing will be shallow, pupil will be dilated. All these things will happen. You can imagine when dog chases a person, what all things the person experience. So all these things will contribute to this hyperarousal state. Okay, so previously it used to activated only during some emergencies like wars when wild animal is chasing a person. But now we are in the state of sympathetic overactivity most of the time. So because of this, you are giving more pressure to your heart, more work to your heart, more strain to your heart. All these things are hidden factors which you are not even considering. So all these things are contributing to sudden cardiac death. One last point which I want to address is long COVID. So there might be some inflammation to your heart muscles because of COVID, which is not even identified. So it's like it will be in dormant state. It is not seen when you are in normal, when you are doing your day-to-day activities. But when you put more pressure, more exertion with some physical activities or with some exercise, then the muscle will give up, tells that, yeah, I'm done. So these are the main factors, lifestyle factors. Along with that, this long COVID, which might be the main reasons that might be contributing for this.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anurag, for your enlightening insights. We come to Ishwar Chand, the health and life coach, and you are a health strategist. Now, when we hear about stress, when we hear about sleepless nights, when we hear about over exercise, and yes, we also heard about, just Dr. Anurag said, social connecting, so social connectivity, and how do you, as a strategist, put forth all these problems? How would you, as a strategist, raise this concern? Stress factor, the social connectivity, and the lifestyle. So how do you approach people? How do you guide people? How will you today guide us?
Okay, thank you, Mosmi. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I go by the Dr. Shazina and Dr. Anurag. I go by that. I will not repeat that, but I will go one step ahead. Actually, the root cause, the single root cause for such heart attack in the kids, in the children, in the young adult, or even in the this health conscious people, the single root cause is chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation, which is 24/7, उठते जागते सोते अंदर जो है जो इन्फ्लेमेशन चल रही है, इट्स लाइक ए वार विद इन, इट्स लाइक ए सिविल वॉर. Okay, so it is induced by, it is food induced, it is sedentary induced, it is stress induced, it is sleep induced, it is smoking induced, it is excessive exercise induced, it is environmental pollution induced. So there are 10, 12 parameters which induces the inflammation day and night. Now, what this inflammation within does, if it is chronic, it means your immune system is always on the alert. So there is a civil war within, and in that civil war, the immune system is fighting with the oxidative stress, with the free radicals. And in the process, the cells are getting damaged. Or when these cells are getting damaged, it means everything is happening. Due to the oxidative stress, there are cholesterol issues, there are hormonal issues, there are metabolic dysfunctions also, and right. So this is the inflammation. So what we have done is we have created a program from the civil war to the ceasefire. और मैं अपने हार्ट बीट प्रोटोकॉल्स में यही काम करता हूं कि वी क्रिएट ए स्वीट स्पॉट where the science and spirituality meets together, and they bring the civil war to the ceasefire. So we work on the inflammation, from what to eat, how to eat, exercise, environment, liveliness, sleep. So it's a holistic approach. Dr. Anurag ने भी बताया और Dr. Shazina ने बताया. So this is the approach. The single most factor is inflammation. तो आजकल के
Sorry to
बच्चों
interrupt you.
Yeah.
Sorry, जब हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी के बारे में बात करते हैं,
Yes.
अभी जैसे वी आर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट स्पिरिचुअलिटी, हम लोगों को कैसे समझाएंगे ये जो फेज है, दिस spirituality, what is the spirituality that is connecting us to our habits, or like to the cure of heart diseases? किस तरीके से हम लोगों को
Yes,
समझाएंगे?
yes. Very good questions, Mousumi. Let me explain. See, we are composed of physical body, mental body, and energy body. The third dimension जो energy body की है, we forget, we don't know it. Energy body में आपकी entangled होती है आपकी consciousness, right? आपका जो life force है, that is being entangled into the energy body. Or due to the chronic inflammation, right? Energy body becomes low conscious and low conscious and low conscious. Your consciousness keep coming down and down and down. And the most affected part of this low consciousness or tripping consciousness is the heart. Because heart is known as the seat of consciousness. The biggest impact heart पे होता सीधा. When the consciousness crashes, the heart stops. So this is we have to merge together the science as well as spirituality, and that is the holistic approach we have.
Right. Thank you so much, Ishwar. Now, coming to Dr. Shazina Saeed, how do you take this consciousness as maybe one of the concern, or one of the factors we should put into when we talk about heart diseases? How do you take this consciousness? Again, I have a question. When we come to food, so how do you see the present generation, or the present time, the kind of food we are eating, how is it affecting us, affecting the entire generation, affecting the entire people? How do you take consciousness as a cure to the heart disease? I will not say cure, as a concern to the heart disease. How would you explain this? Or do you agree to it?
Yeah, I definitely agree to it. And I'll tell you a very, Ishwar ji can correct me if I'm wrong. But the way what I have seen in today's time, whether it's an adult, whether it's a young person, or even a child, we are not conscious about our existence, like Ishwar ji said very rightly. Okay, so we are not conscious about that. And if you talk medically or philosophically and physiologically, uh, one reason why there is a rise in not just only cardiac diseases, but in diabetes and cancer and all of that, the main underlying factor is inflammation. Even something as simple as obesity also, you know, is chronic inflammation, right? And now, because of that chronic inflammation and all of these aspects, our body has become prone to many diseases. Heart being one because sudden deaths happen, so we are putting more emphasis on that, right? Now, talking about consciousness and good health and well-being in general is when you're conscious about your breathing. Let's just take breathing. When you're consciously breathing, when you're consciously deeply inhaling and exhaling, not only are you connecting with your soul and your spirit, but there is more oxygen perfusion of each and every organ of your body. And that alone is leading to a lot of healing, which you are again not very aware of. Just deep inhalation and exhalation is leading to a lot of internal healing, which is happening. So when he said that you're spiritually connected, whichever power you believe in, right? When you're spiritually connected, you're more conscious about your well-being. And more conscious about your well-being is physiologically helping you because taking deeper breaths, you're slowing down, you are thinking about every action before you actually commit to it, and you are taking life a little slow, and that is internally helping you heal by the natural way of body how it should have been. Because when I talk about the DNA level, when I talk about the genetics, there everybody has a natural tear and wear mechanism. These diseases were expected to be happening in older age group because tear and wear mechanism slow ho jata tha. Nowadays we are not allowing our body to do that tear and wear mechanism, allowing it to heal. We are not allowing that, and that's why all these things are happening in a premature way. So that is my take on that when I talk about spirituality and being conscious about your well-being. Now coming on to the food choices. See, food choices, again, I'll start with adults and then I'll go on to children. As individuals, I think every smoker knows what's going to happen. Every person who's taking every sip of alcohol knows कि आज ज़्यादा हो गई. Every person who is taking or eating a KFC or a burger or saturated fats and all of that, we are aware of it. But the biggest problem is change in behavior. So Indians in general, or rather I would say Southeast Asians in general, have a problem with health seeking behaviors. Unless and until your body is dying for health, the concept of wellness is not a very accepted concept. Now it's coming in with the youth because there are a lot of influencers and people talking about it on media, which people are listening to by virtue of, again, subconsciously they're listening to it. There's so much of media on it. So habits, of course, are difficult to change. And talking about the future, I think it's now every parent's responsibility of what kind of food comes into the house. If one of us sits and drinks a Coke at home on a regular basis, our child would do it again subconsciously because it's normalized at home. When it's a New Year event, then it's something special. When it's only on your birthday, then again it's something special. So we have to lead by example as very well informed parents or informed adults. And of course, food choices are plenty, uh, food tastes are plenty, but what we are eating, like Dr. Anurag said at the very beginning, the kind of nutrition our body is getting, it's not just about supplying calories, it's about what kind of stuff are you actually feeding your body. So is it having enough fiber? Are you taking a lot of saturated? Are you taking a lot of processed food? Processed food has become a problem in today's time. There used to be a time when maybe our parents used to have roti with something in the morning. And then we talked about the typical English breakfast where bread came. Bread is highly processed food. So a lot of the people in North India are shifting back to that roti and that, that those
We
kind of
lost
basic things.
connection.
Yes. Can you hear me, Moshmi?
Is there some connectivity issues?
No,
I hope you can hear me.
no, it's working
Yes.
well.
Can you? Yeah.
I think, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Yes. So that is my basic
So,
take on that. And these
thank
are
you.
points.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, thank you. Like, we'll come back to you. We have Dr. Anurag Kumar. He's a lifestyle, he's into lifestyle medicine and physician. When you speak about lifestyle, how do you take the increasing, cases of stress these days? And how is it or the kind of responsibility we are taking it as stress? Is it stress or stress can be taken as a challenge too? Are we somewhere misunderstanding the term between stress and challenge, or our children or the present generation they have become so soft that they cannot take any challenge boldly, and so the term stress. So earlier we had parents, we had people working. We used to see people working in the farms, coming home, cooking, taking after the looking after the children, doing enormous activity, but we never heard this term stress. घर में
Yes,
बहुत कुछ होता था, डिस्टर्बेंसेस भी होते थे, बाहर भी जाते थे, घर में लड़ाई भी होती थी, बट ये स्ट्रेस डिप्रेशन ये कभी सुनाई नहीं देता था. लेकिन नाउ व्हेन वी हियर दैट एवरी अदर पर्सन इज इन स्ट्रेस, किसी बच्चे को डांटेंगे तो बोलेंगे नहीं वो स्ट्रेस में चला जाएगा, कोर्स ज्यादा हैवी है तो स्ट्रेस में. सो हाउ डू वी टेक दिस स्ट्रेस, and is it actually the stress leading to heart diseases or cardiac arrest?
Yes, absolutely. Because as you mentioned, the stress and the situations were there since ages. What differs is how we respond to the situation. We can't avoid the situations that we are getting. We can't avoid anything that we are facing. But what we can alter or modify it is how we respond to it. How we respond to it make lot of differences in our day-to-day life. And as Ishwarji mentioned, and as Dr. Shazina mentioned, the response is very crucial, and one of the basic and simplest thing is breath work, breathing exercises that can manage and that can alter the way we respond to it. Okay, and there is a word called as resilience. Resilience is the building that capacity to manage all the situation and circumstances in better way. So if you build that resilience, we can manage situations in better way, because stress can also be use stress. We call it as use stress, where any deadlines or anything can be utilized so that our activity will increase, our efficiency will increase. We can work best of our efficiency, but should not be to that extent that is affecting our physiological body or physical body. So finally, my take is we can't avoid the situations, but how we manage it is very crucial. And by just being aware of these situations and how we are responding it to it plays very crucial role. And one of the main interventions or one of the main modality of treatment I also suggest is mainly breath work, because as I mentioned initially also, we have fright and flight mechanism and rest and digest mechanism. So when we do deep breathing, when we do that conscious breathing, our body will shift from that fright and flight mechanism to rest and digest, where that recovery happens, where that healing happens, where that inflammation reduces. So final thing is try to put your body in that rest and digest phase, so that body will do its work by its own. We don't need any external support, too much of external support. Just give that environment to your body where that recovery happens. So just try to analyze things, just try to identify things that will put you in that rest and digest phase, even in that stressful situations.
Thank you so much. And Ishwar Chanji, मैं आपको एक you are a life coach. So when we hear the time life coach, it is actually training someone, you're guiding someone to live a better life. But when someone is already suffering so much, again I'll come back to stress. How do you actually coach people? How do you tell people that this stress is causing heart attack? Or how do you spread this awareness? How do we make people understand? And is it possible that we get away with the term called stress? कभी ये हो
yes,
सकता है?
yes. Actually, mostly the pressure is inevitable, but stress is optional. Okay, right? So I will always say कि health coaching जो है cannot be completed unless we are the life coach. Because how to handle the load? तो load तो होगा. At one hand we have the load, career load, right? Financial load, relationship load. तो काफी सारी चीजें आजकल एम्बिशंस हैं, ड्रीम्स हैं, डेडलाइंस हैं, टारगेट्स हैं, लोड तो होगा. बट हाउ वी कैन अवॉइड to convert it into the stress? How can we avoid that? The other part is the load carrying capacity. The load carrying capacity कहां से निकल के आती है? Physical body, mental body, energy body. It's like a machine. And I always say कि as a human we are not the machine, but we have the machine. And if you know the mechanism of this machine, we can win the game of life. तो अगर फिजिकली हम बढ़िया से न्यूट्रिशन लेके एक्सरसाइज करके बढ़िया से रहें, 10-12 घंटे काम कर सकते हैं. मेंटल क्लैरिटी हो, मेंटल शार्पनेस हो, हायर कॉन्शियसनेस में बेटर डिसीजन ले सकते हैं, बेटर चॉइसेस कर सकते हैं. और परसेप्शन ऑफ जो लोड्स हैं, परसेप्शन ऑफ जो स्ट्रेस है, वो चेंज कर सकते हैं, रिफ्रेम कर सकते हैं. और अगर हम हमारी जो एनर्जी बॉडी अगर हायर कॉन्शियस है, इन द रियल्म ऑफ हायर कॉन्शियसनेस everything becomes effortless. See, struggle comes when you are the low conscious, where you are in the anger, frustration, depression, comparison, biasness. So I always say, if load is there, you build the load carrying capacity. But when the load carrying capacity is more than the load, you will not feel the stress. You will
Right.
not feel
Thank
the
you
stress.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Sachdeva, uh, what are the symptoms that people should be warned and people should know that these are the symptoms that may be the signs of, heart attack? Because we keep on hearing, because there are such cases in my family also, heart pains or some uneasiness, we take it as maybe a gastro problem, or maybe you are tired, or maybe something else. We become doctors ourselves at our homes, and we say नहीं, शायद ये होगा, शायद गैस्ट्रो एसिड का प्रॉब्लम होगा, शायद आपने दिन भर खाना नहीं खाया होगा, शायद ये आप थोड़ा आराम कर लीजिए, ठीक हो जाएगा. But while delaying that, and the outcome is that we lose that person, and that person is already under attack. तो ऐसे क्या symptoms है, the symptoms which we should know, and we should aware people that if you have such symptoms, immediately run to the doctor. So what are the symptoms?
Yeah, so that's a very, very crucial question to answer, but I will take a little liberty over here because I'm a preventive cardiologist. So I would like to go back a little before answering your question into what are the symptoms to recognize much before the event happens. Okay. And when you talk about those symptoms, it could be as simple as just that an individual who was active has suddenly started experiencing fatigue. You know, you've led a very active lifestyle, but over a couple of months, you've started experiencing fatigue. One thing. Second thing, loss of interest in things that initially made interest for you. Third, very important thing and very commonly mistaken as something else is tired feet syndrome. People who experience pain in their legs, in their feet, if all causes have been excluded, then a cardiac cause should definitely be excluded. It's one of the very easy precursor to a specific cardiac disease. So, leg pain is often said that I'm tired or your footwear is wrong. Yeah, please do exclude all that. But please don't exclude, please do also exclude that a cardiac problem could also be a cause for it. Apart from this, then of course your dyslipidemia, your triglycerides, your BMI, which is very crucial. Now, here again, I want to, because everyone's going to listen to this, your channel is popular. I want to stress upon this. If you people read about the BMI where people need to be conscious about CVD and diabetes, they will read everywhere that it's 25 to 30. But when we talk about the Southeast Asians, our range is a little different. Our range is 23 to 27. So if someone's BMI is in the range of 23 to 25, please don't overlook that, because that is a critical age for critical BMI score for Southeast Asians, that is us. So this knowledge is also important. Although BMI is not a very good character of weight or obesity, because there is bone weight and muscle weight and all of that. But yes, roughly it can be used for guidance. And now coming on to the main question that you asked me, there are several presentations. Of course, in women the presentations are a little different, and in men it's very different. But generally, it is pain on the left side of the body. There could be epigastric kind of pain, जो आप बोल रहे हो acidity हो गई है, it could be one of those also. There are some things related to jaw pain, pain near the nape of the neck. So all these symptoms are not exactly when the cardiac arrest is happening, but a couple of days before or a couple of hours before. All of these things can happen. The tendency that you're not able to lift the hands, the tendency that, this side of the body feels heavier than usual. These are again some common things. But most of the cases, how you started your talk about a person doing a natural task and just falls and you're done, those are mostly cardiac arrests. So, there's a difference between myocardial infarction and cardiac arrest. And cardiac arrest is usually something which is very sudden, which is mainly an electrical conduction defect. And usko bachane ke liye, as again a public health person and a preventive cardiologist, I think every household should be prepared for a CPR. A CPR training should we should start doing CPR trainings at schools, at colleges, at workplaces, because wo jo golden few minutes hote hain na, by the time you're figuring out ki ambulance bulaun, ki kya karun, ki khud karun, that is the time that if every household has a person who has some knowledge of CPR, it can save a lot of lives. I believe, I truly believe that, and I'm actually advocating this on a bigger level, where all educational institutes, be it school or colleges or universities, should have CPR training for all their students, because this is something which is like a skill, like you everyone should know this. This is no more an optional thing. So these are some of my takes on that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sajina. Dr. Anurag, you spoke about over exercise. हमें ये भी देखने के लिए मिला है कि there are fittest of the fit. Even people in Indian Army, I'll say, they are so fit. Morning exercise करने जा रहे हैं, PT में जा रहे हैं. They are running, 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers. Suddenly, ऐसे भी cases हैं जहाँ पे we find that they are fit. They are running and suddenly they come home and they collapse. ऐसे भी केसेस है, एक दो केसेस, एक दो नहीं बहुत है. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल. ऐसे भी केसेस है कि a fit officer, he is like, regularly he's doing his duties, he's physically fit जो हमें दिख रहा है. So मॉर्निंग वॉक से या मॉर्निंग रन से वापस आ रहे हैं, suddenly he collapsed in the street. ऐसे केसेस में क्या बोलेंगे? Is he actually fit या क्या इश्यूज हो सकते हैं?
Yeah, so I'll add on to Dr. Shazina's point of BMI and weight. Okay, so along with BMI, one more factor we should consider is central obesity or tummy fat. Okay, so most of the Indians we call it as TOFI, thin outside, fat inside. So even though they look fit, even though they are thin, if they store fat in their stomach, that is the risk factor for most of the metabolic condition, even for the cardiac condition. So first thing, rather
Sorry
than
to
just
interrupt because there our viewers may not be of the science background. उनको जब हम obesity बोलते हैं या जब हम cholesterol बोलते हैं, हमें लगता है कि बंदा बहुत मोटा होगा और he or she would be very fat and तभी the tummy fat. But when we speak about the person who is fit, there is no, like, we don't see any fat in his body and still, like, उसमें आप क्या कहेंगे?
Yeah, I will come to that point. Most of the Indian men will look fit, but their tummy fat, there'll be slight bulge in their stomach fat. So they should measure their waist circumference rather than just knowing their weight and fitness and BMI. That is first factor. Second thing is, as Mr. Ishwar mentioned initially, inflammation, chronic inflammation. Knowing that chronic inflammation is very crucial. There are few blood parameters that can be assessed, like high sensitive C reactive protein, HSCRP will call, lipid profile, that is cholesterol in our body, and blood sugar levels, and few other factors that is contributing for their heart conditions. So whoever doing vigorous exercise, whoever are working out and going for the gym regularly, get this blood parameters and blood investigation done. That is second thing. Okay. Third thing, there is something called as exercise stress test. Okay. In normal condition, when you are sitting, your heart will work fine. But when you put some additional efforts like exercise, some physical activity, then your heart will react. So there is something called as treadmill stress test where the person is made to run in the treadmill and see how the heart is reacting. So doing this blood parameters, doing this central obesity assessment, and doing this TMT ECG, treadmill ECG. And one more parameter, one of the important parameters, there is something called as heart rate variability. So all of your watches will have something called as HRV, that is not heart rate, it is variation between two heartbeat. So, and this heart rate variability is an indicator of your heart health. Okay. So this heart rate variability changes years before it manifests as cardiac arrest or other cardiac conditions. So most of us are using the smartwatch. Just try to be aware of this fact of heart rate variability in your watch. Try to assess what is your heart rate variability and try to monitor it, and we can see how we can make it better.
और जिनके पास स्मार्ट वॉच ना हो सर,
There are few assessments. They can go to centers and get it done. They can go to cardiac centers or normal clinic and get this heart rate variability assessment done.
that means regular checkup is actually
Yes,
important these days.
definitely, especially for those who are going to gym, those who are into intense physical activities. Get your blood test done. Get your not just ECG, this TMT ECG stress test done, and try to monitor your heart rate variability, and also the fourth factor which I mentioned, central obesity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anurag. Coming to Ishwar Chand, you are a life coach, health and life coach, heart health strategist. A few strategies or a strategy you would really give it to us, to our viewers, that every home can actually apply so that we can reduce the risk of heart diseases.
ओके, तो एक्चुअली स्ट्रेटेजी जो है, पहली स्ट्रेटेजी मैं शुरू करूंगा कि स्टार्ट लविंग द होम मेड फूड. किचन शुड बी द हार्ट ऑफ द होम, राइट. और स्पेशली उस घर में जिसमें बच्चे भी हैं, अडल्ट भी हैं और ओल्ड पेरेंट्स भी हैं. तीनों की न्यूट्रिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट अलग अलग है. So you don't have any option except to have the awareness of the nutrition as a science. You can't afford to be ignorant about the nutrition. Second thing is movement, exercise. Forget about the exercise in the gym. Focus on the NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. चढ़ना, उतरना, खाना लेना, खुद पार्किंग दूर करके खुद पैदल चलना. Be in the motion, be in the movement throughout the day. राइट. अगर आपकी कुछ जो हेल्पर्स हैं, थोड़ा सा उनको अवॉइड करो. डू समथिंग एट योर ओन. थर्ड, द स्ट्रेस. स्ट्रेस में मैंने देखा है कि ड्यूरिंग द इंटरेक्शन स्टार्ट अडोप्टिंग द लविंग स्पीच. लविंग स्पीच, it will automatically transform your consciousness to the love frequency, that is 500, much beyond the threshold 200. Okay. And sleep, the 2 hours before you start celebrating that you are going to have the sleep of 7 to 8 hours. It is your heaven on this earth. The more you celebrate, the more serotonin comes in. And because of serotonin, the more melatonin comes in, which will help us to give the more better and deep sleep. So these are some strategies and which can work better.
Right. Thank you so much, Ishwar Chandji. And last, just two-liner from everyone. Myth or real? COVID injections are criticized by many to be the frequent reasons of cardiac arrest or heart attacks these days. We see many people criticizing ये COVID का injection लिया है ना इसीलिए तो heart attack हो रहा है इतना ज़्यादा. How do you take this, Dr. Shazina? Myth or real?
It's definitely a myth because I think the cardiac muscles are the most resilient muscles in our body. So a single vaccine cannot change the outcome unless and until there was some.
Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Anurag, COVID injections. It now, like, we have been seeing people criticizing COVID. We have taken this COVID injections. That is why, we see heart attacks. How do you take this?
So I can't completely agree or disagree to this fact because there are few researchers in different countries. These are like budding researches, which tells that there is sudden cardiac embolism. But as doctor mentioned, there should be pre-existing heart conditions. So that we will call it as trigger. It's not antecedent. It's not where it started. But there are some very new researchers in few countries that are suggesting it has some impact on cardiac muscles. So we should be careful.
ईश्वर चंद जी, आप कैसे लेंगे उसको? कोविड इंजेक्शन ले लिया इसीलिए हार्ट अटैक हो गया, मिथ और रियल?
As far as your immune system is okay and fit, you don't have any trigger or already existing heart disease, then this COVID period and vaccine, they are the myth. Right? They are the myth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Sajina, Ishwar Chandji, Dr. Anurag Kumar. You have shared very, very important things with us. Your insights will definitely help me personally, help our viewers, help my team. And I would request everyone to spread an awareness in all possible ways so that we can, give a better lifestyle to our generation or to the coming generation. And yes, every doctor, every physician, every health coach and life coach, you all are coaches. You all are guides. So I would request you to find out, ways to spread an awareness. And the Global Eye definitely is a platform where we will make efforts time and on to, rewind our episodes and, invite people to spread an awareness. Thank you so much for joining the Global Eye. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mousumi.
Yes, so
Thank you.
much.